And we're joined by Jason Siebenga outside of the Welcome Inn. The last time we spoke to you, you had let in 12 people to get started and you were ramping up.
Yeah.
What sort of numbers do you have coming in over these cold nights we've been having?
So we filled up to 40. We filled up to 40 actually. We saw the weather coming and so fast-tracked the intake and filled up to 40 before the weather hit.
So you've been having 40 people in, enjoying the warmth for the last couple of nights then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, are you aware of any people that are seeking this kind of shelter, but there simply isn't room? What's the score there?
Yeah, so we're still turning people away for sure, and I think the numbers, the estimates, there's around 40 people out on the street still. And so what's happened in this extreme cold snap is actually the first night we had opened, on Sunday night, opened up Metro Central and had a group of volunteers come in and do a overnight shift, and then since then, we've been working with the Salvation Army, and the Salvation Army opened up their facility, which is much better suited. And there's been mats laid down with volunteers from Welcome Inn, staff, and then the facilities from Salvation Army, which has been a great partnership.
So just to back up, you mean you had the coffee shop open in the middle of the night just so that someone wouldn't just freeze to death?
Totally. So that was the first night, and so we really saw there's no way we're going to turn people away once it gets that cold, but to just inject a whole new group of 20 plus people into that environment with 40 people that are stabilizing in a new facility that we're trying to make their home was going to be very disruptive. And so that wasn't an option, but it wasn't an option. The temperatures were 1 degree in the afternoon. They were going down to negative 20. There's a number of people out on the street that I don't think even saw that coming. So they might have woken up, and we had people coming in throughout that night extremely desperate.
Maybe an anomaly, but we did run into this one gentleman, James, who was out at that old Recreation Avenue place, and I guess he had chosen. This was his choice. He wanted to stay out there. It seemed worrisome, but yet he seemed really sort of, prepared for it in his own way.
Yeah, and there's such a wide variety. I think there's people that have grown up in other cities where it's much colder and they're comfortable, and this is just a lifestyle, and that's one set. I would say that's a smaller subset of what's out there, and then there's people that are in addiction, and then there's people that are struggling with severe mental health, and then there's all those three things come together at times. And so yeah, there's really homelessness is a broad issue made up by many different individual circumstance.
I understand that, though it's heartwarming to know that people like yourself even did see James out there. And you took a bit of video yourself.
Yeah. So we went out, saw him, had a few other people that had relationship go out and check on him, talk to some friends of his, and just said, "Is he good? Let's make sure." And because we want to make sure, and in my heart, I want to make sure I know somebody's of sound mind, and that gentleman's of sound mind. He's making a choice, and that's great. I think I'm mostly concerned for those who may have cognitive disabilities that are pushed out of the system, that have no choice of shelter, and may not be able to react in that emergency situation.
So are you confident that there's enough people that are on the lookout for that, for people that really aren't in a position to look after themselves the way that James fella was?
Yeah, so like we've had conversations with the city, with BC Housing, with Interior Health, with all different people, and everybody cares about this issue. So the city they talked to the RCMP. RCMP are doing patrols looking for people in distress. There is a place, and that right now is Salvation Army, where people won't be turned away. We have to have a place where somebody that's in distress, and at the end of the day, shelters, there's humans at the doors of the shelters, and when it gets to these kind of temperatures, people are going to make sure there's a place for people to escape the cold. And so I see the community once again coming together, everybody in the different agencies going, we'll do anything it takes to make sure somebody has got the option. It is still too bad that we don't have a better solution, but a lot of great people doing everything they can to make sure that there's not a loss of life.
Jason Siebenga, thanks for doing your part.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.